Hello.
Hola.
Hi, baby.
She's like, what are you saying?
Yeah.
So welcome, we're Two Moms in Motion, and today we're going to be talking about what a lot of people probably wonder, and a few people have definitely asked us about,
Yep.
which is if we, as a same-sex couple, where one of us is a biological mom and one is not, if we feel different, if we felt different, and how that is in the relationship with the daughter.
Let's dig in.
You ready?
I'm ready.
We're digging deep on you today.
Okay, let's try.
Okay, so I guess the first question that somebody had asked is, throughout the pregnancy...
No, wait a minute. We're gonna tell them how we arrived
Into this conversation?
into this conversation.
Yes, okay. So this past weekend, we're at the cottage, and Alaya was playing, in a sand water PlayStation with her 4-year-old cousin, who is adorable. And
He is super adorable.
he just stopped playing for a second, and he looked at us and said, who's the mom?
So who's the mom? Super innocent. It was actually kind of funny. Morgan and I look at each other, and in seconds we reply, we're both.
Both the moms.
Both of us are her moms. We actually say something along the line like, she's mommy, I'm mama. And but that point he was already checked out. He was, oh, you both are moms? Okay, good for me.
Yeah, no details needed.
No.
That's all. I got my answer. So yeah, it was just an innocent question, and yeah, for a little guy who's mostly been surrounded by, I guess, heterosexual couples, he was just curious, but nothing to it, nothing more. So then we started talking a bit more about being two moms, and does that feel any different for Alejandra at any point during the whole experience?
Yeah, the experience of it, exactly.
And so, yeah, going to my first question. When I was pregnant, did you ever feel less excited about the process of being pregnant, or Alaya's or our daughter's arrival, because you were not pregnant? Because I was pregnant and I was carrying. Excuse me, she just farted. Yeah, you heard that? I'll excuse. Baby's fart, for those who don't know.
Coming back to your question, no, I never felt jealous of the attention you were getting. I actually was kind of excited. I felt part of it. At the end of the day, you were going through it. Your body was going through it. So I feel like you needed attention.
Yeah. So like people would give more attention in the sense, not much, but just ask you, how are you doing, or how am I doing? Because obviously my body was changing.
Absolutely. But Morgan always, through the whole pregnancy and still now, she always made sure I'm involved in every decision that we made, even for her pregnancy.
Yeah, I let her go to the store and pick me up all the jars of pickles.
Yeah. No, but like what medicine she will take, like no
Or
medicine,
not.
or no. But what was the other thing that you were taking? Supplements,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. Like we were discussed together what she want to take. What no, I always have a say in the process, and I think that's why I never felt left out.
Yeah, so we feel like that was really important, and
Yep.
also like the experience of, I guess, expecting is very different during the pandemic anyhow. So that could leave any.
We definitely were more connected if it was a regular time in our life. Like if you were working or we were having more social life, I feel like it would have been a little bit different. But because we spend so much time together, it makes us connecting even more.
Yeah.
And maybe that was the difference.
So how did you feel like one thing that we got was a Doppler, so she could listen to the heartbeat at home, because it wasn't the same during the pandemic. You obviously have to FaceTime your partner during your appointments.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same. You couldn't really hear it that well.
That was the downside of the pandemic part. Like I couldn't go to the ultrasounds, but I will FaceTime her, and I will put my ear in her tummy. I will touch. Every time Alaya was having hiccup, Morgan told me. I always ask her, is she moving? Is she moved today? We always have a conversation 3-4 times during the day. So I was involved in every single thing. I was involved.
Yeah. So Alejandra is a very involved parent anyways, even before Alaya arrived. But a great question is, did you ever feel disconnected because you're not the biological carrier of Alaya?
No, because at the end of the day, she's here because of me, literally because of me. I have the conversation with the donor. I bring the donor to our life. Morgan wanted kids before I did. She even had the conversation with me at the beginning, saying like, I want kids. If you don't want to be involved, that's fine, but I want kids. And I was like, this girl is crazy. But anyways, at that point
which I'm not, by the way.
When Morgan wanted, when I was ready, I was the one to put the pressure, and I called the clinic and let's do it. I'm ready. Let's have a baby. So it felt like I made it happen. So she's here because of me. So I never felt left out. Every single decision came from me.
And so,
do you feel?
Yeah, absolutely. And so what are some of the things you did once Alaya was in the world with us and had arrived to ensure that you were bonding with her?
The first thing is skin to skin. As soon as she was born, the first thing they do is because her birth was so traumatic, they took her to check her out. I grabbed her, I put it to Morgan, so I actually was the first one who touched Alaya. And after she was a little bit with Morgan, I put her skin to skin with me. And the skin to skin lasts the whole first month. Every single day, she will nap in my skin. I will just watch TV while she was napping, skin to skin. And I made sure I fed her. We introduced the bottle early too, so I could be involved. I put her to sleep.
Yeah, so I think within the first couple weeks I started pumping so that A, it would provide me a little freedom, but B, it also provide Alejandra the opportunity to do the, bonding through feeding.
Yeah, and luckily Alaya got it right away. She was a good player about it. And
with cheeks these size, no problem with any form of eating, right?
Baby.
Show off them cheeks. Show off them cheeks.
Hey, baby.
And so right now, what do you like? Do you ever feel like you have to make an effort to bond, or is it just a natural relationship you both have now?
Look at this. What do you guys think? What do you think? Ooh, mama. No, I think we have a good relationship. I think it's natural. At the beginning, I think something that it didn't bother me, but it was just like, oh man, I wish I was her number one. When she cries and she's like really out of her element, she looks for Morgan. But just when she feels like, okay, I need her, Morgan is the only one. I can calm her down, but she will jump into Morgan's arms. And I got a little bit jealous about that. Like, I want you to grab me.
And I was like, I want her to as well.
But I feel like I'm the fun parent. I make her laugh more than Morgan too. I definitely spend more time with her during the day and everything. And I always thought it's obvious. It has to be obviously something, I don't know, it's something biological going on. The smell, or like she was 9 months on you, so I expect for her to feel more comfort in Morgan's arm. But she definitely connect with me right away. I feel like she see me, she smiles. Like when she's with a stranger, she wanna jump back to me. Like she see me as a parent for sure. I never felt less than that.
And so do you ever have fear that in the future it might become an issue?
Absolutely. The fear even started before we planned Alaya. We start the process of getting you pregnant. I think that's a fear is always there. However, what I have noticed this whole time is that it's a fear that only I have.
Yeah.
My friends, Morgan, even my mom, everybody's like, she's never gonna think that way, because the fear that you have is what happens if she grows one day and she asks, well, I don't have a daddy. Who's my daddy? You're not my mom, or something like that. It will scare me, and it will kill me if she ever have that say that to me. Like, you're not my mom. Like, but
one of the things that we've discussed is we're going to be very transparent from the beginning on where she came from, who she is, and who our family is. And that's not going to be a hidden conversation. So there won't be any surprises, and hopefully because of that, there won't be any, I guess she'll just naturally know that we are the family. We are her parents, and what's the word I'm looking for? If she doesn't have any surprises, she's not going to be...
I don't know, but I feel like, yeah, at the end of the day, I came to the conclusion this about how we raise her and how we educate her. That how with this thing with Kaden, what I noticed is like kids are so innocent and they just absorbing from the world and from us. So if she ever says something like "You're not my mom," it's because she hears from somebody else or from us actually, or from somebody in their life. And I don't think she have anybody in her life who ever gonna do that comment.
Right.
So now I feel more comfortable. Like, you know what? Is, as I said before, is how we're gonna raise her and how we educate her. So I'm a little bit less afraid than I was before, for sure. And also my community, my friends, my family have always calmed me down. Like, that's never gonna happen. You're an amazing mom. And those words of encouragement also make me feel more confident with myself.
Yeah. So hopefully you found this video interesting and helpful. Feel free to leave comments below and we'll be part of the conversation. And make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for being part of our Two Moms in Motion journey. Until next time.
Bye.
Adios.